Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is May 11th, 2010, and this is Day 9 Daily number 114. I would like this to work, but it appears my Flash Media Live encoder just has died several times on me, so I'm hoping that this stays stable this time. Whew! I'm going to not really do any introduction. I'm pretty much going to jump right into the game and just pray that it actually is live and actually is working, and if it is, sounds good to me. So, we're going to jump right into this game. It's going to be of Jinro, so many of you have probably seen this stuff before, heard me say some of this stuff beforehand, but, you know, no big deal. We'll just go ahead and jump right back into things, and it appears that everything is recording properly for once, so that's fantastic. So sorry for the gigantic delay on everything, but we're just going to jump directly into this game. So, here we go. We have Jinro spawning here. Yes, there he is. There is the man of the hour, the man who makes the ghosts. And so I think the big thing that's causing my Adobe Flash encoder to crash is the fact that I'm trying to bounce between many windows, and whenever I seem to do that, it seems to just give up on me. So hopefully it will not give up on me, because I really would like to watch this series. It's pretty cool. This game is between Jinro and Z-Pux. Z-Pux is another famous, strong European player, along with everyone else in Europe. Just very, very good. And this is from the semifinals of the Zotac Cup. Now, I'm going to say right now that Jinro is going to get ghosts, and I want to just have that on the brain. I think what I'm going to do is just disable my webcam for the remainder of this cast, because it seems to be causing quite a bit of lag on this thing. So you won't get to see my face for that much of it, but, you know, no big deal. Not the biggest deal in the world. So I want to have ghosts on the brain here, and there's some obvious uses for ghosts against Protoss. We can EMP all their units, we can get all their shields disabled, but, you know, against Zerg it might be a little bit less intuitive. I mean, there's some obvious things like if Zerg, say, has a bunch of infestors, we can obviously do some sort of magic there, we can EMP those, but the big thing I want everyone to be aware of is the sniper round ability. The fact that we can bypass armor, do 45 damage, and it only costs us 25 energy. I think that is an unbelievably important thing to note. Just 25 energy for the ability to one-shot a lot of those smaller units and two-shot a lot of the bigger ones. Or even the ability to take out broodlords very, very easily if we have lots of ghosts in our army. So at this point in time, Jinro's doing a pretty normal opening. As we can see, we've already watched some of the replay. That's about as far as we got before my stream crashed. But, I want to talk a lot about just general opening concepts, because a lot of times, anytime someone wants to do something like make ghosts, they'll go overboard. That will be the cool unit of their play. So they will make, you know, mass ghosts. They'll get like 5 racks doing non-stop ghost production. And that's really not the way to go about it. That's actually pretty exceptionally weak. It's a lot more important to do something like be a little bit more smooth on everything. To try to have good lead-ins, to try to have good follow-throughs, all that sorts of stuff. We want to have very good interactions with the rest of our play. So we shouldn't just rush for ghosts, so we're going to see Jinro do a pretty nice, creative, typical opening, with a little bit of a twist, being the Nitro packs. But I do want to come here and discuss this extractor for a little bit of time. You'll hear me say a lot in the original Brood War that you really should not take an extractor unless you have a very clear plan of what to do with it. Because, I mean, a lot of times you'll be back home and you'll be having one of your gas geysers, let's say it's Protoss versus Protoss, and you'll think to yourself, if I take my opponent's gas, then I can get my second gas way earlier on, and then I'm double gassing against a single gas, therefore I win. You know, you just sort of assume that you're going to be in fantastic shape regardless. But the problem comes when you take that gas geyser, you're a little bit off in terms of your money. It's a little bit hard to be able to, it's a little hard to be able to do a lot of the stuff that you would ordinarily want to be doing because you've interrupted your production by spending money on this gas geyser. It takes, it comes at a really, really inconvenient time taking this gas, so be very, very careful whenever you do end up taking that gas geyser to make sure that it doesn't botch the rest of your play. So we're seeing Z-Pucks do a little bit of annoying stuff, just rush right up here. And we're already starting to see some of the effects of going for this gas geyser early. I want you to note that right here, in this first geyser, Jinro, he pulled one guy out of gas, and that was actually intentional. I spoke to him before the game. I keep scrolling to the right. I talked to him before the game and asked him whether or not that was intentional, and he said absolutely it was, because since his gas geyser got taken, he just built up money and took an expansion. And I think most people are familiar with the idea of going one Rax Reaper, getting a whole bunch of Reapers out and doing a ton of damage that way. But he's also getting the Nitro packs in there, and getting the expansion up. Very, very typical, ordinary play. And only after, he kills off this gas geyser, that's the only time that he really started to need gas anymore. Perfect timing. So we are seeing a bunch of little Reapers popping out right now for Jinro. And Reapers are good for many, many reasons. Obviously, they can do the harassment and put a lot of pain on the opponent. 2 Reapers is a good amount to go for, because with 2 Reapers, we can snipe Zerglings. It's 2 shots to kill a Zergling, so 2 Reapers make that really easy. And obviously, we can kill drones, we can scout, we can do all that good stuff. And see, here's some of the sniping that goes on. 1, 2, easy. And note that, it didn't really take much damage at all. And then popping here and killing stuff. But these Reapers do something that I call pinning the opponent. So a contain would be if there were a bunch of Terran units planted right here, walling in his opponent so he couldn't leave. But Reapers obviously aren't doing that. They're not camping outside the front, but they're doing what I call pinning, which is they have this threat of being able to bounce into the back of the base and apparently shoot at the Meng statue because he just didn't look so good. Pretty hideous statue if we want to rotate around and look at him. Ugh, with his dogs. But with these Reapers, you make the Zerg feel like it's a big risk to be able to move out. So Zerg wants to stay back. I mean, even just look at the mini-map. I'm just going to scroll over here to this uninteresting part of the map and just look how Terran has pretty much complete freedom to move through this entire top area. And Zerg has everything very tightly clustered. In fact, the only things that are far away from the base is this one Overlord that is in a completely not useful location. I mean, really, this Overlord is not going to be doing any good there whatsoever. And this Overlord, which is doing a little bit of spotting for the Reapers. I mean, very, very, very little movement out into the middle, thanks to these Reapers. They're doing a very, very good job of that. So here is the Xel'Naga scan and all that good jazz. So we do see that he's making some ghosts now, so we're getting a little bit excited. And I just want you to think a little bit about these sniper rounds. I'm not going to just give away a bunch of stuff and say, he's going to do that, and then pray that you remember. But start thinking about creative things that can happen with sniper rounds. One thing I'm thinking right now is, gee, if I get these ghosts, they're a little expensive on the gas, as we can see. They're 150, 150. But if I can get a good number of ghosts, I'll build up a good amount of sniper rounds. I'll build up a good amount of energy. So if I push out, that means that I can snipe off things like Banelings that are out there. I can snipe off all sorts of good stuff. So it makes me feel like a lot of timing pushes early on are possible. It makes me want to move out if I can. I feel like the timing... I'm just going to make sure my stream is actually still working. Because, as we know, it has crashed about 5 times, so hooray! It seems that my webcam is what was screwing everything up, so I'm just going to leave this off for once. So, sorry guys, my bad, I didn't mean to. Sincerest apologies. I just want to say that there have been 12,000 unique refreshes of this stream, so that would probably explain that a lot of people have been trying to watch and it's been crashing. And totally my bad, it's completely on my end. I'm just trying to get this new Ustream setup working right, and it's been a little wonky with me. I need to... You know, I'm probably going to schedule a stress test in a few days here where I just watch some random ridiculous games and try to get things to work better. But anyways, back to this game with all this amazing Reaper action going on here. So obviously we're seeing that he's doing a lot of damage here. Perhaps not directly, perhaps not going up and killing things off. But at the very least, freaking Zerg out and buying so much time. Oh my god, so much time's being bought. Now, another thing I like about this build, again, ghosts are the central reason I'm selecting this replay for the daily, but there's all the other workings of this build that are very important to note. These barracks, I was worried about them being able to constantly produce stuff with these 3 barracks producing. This is kind of a lot of money that we're implying we're going to have. But what Jinro's doing is he's making Reapers out of these. Now, I want you to note over here in this resource menu that a Reaper is 50-50. And what I would call that is a unit that is very gas heavy, even though they're even in terms of cost, the minerals and the gas. Anytime you have an even split, you're going to end up with a wild excess of minerals. And Reapers, you'll see here, take 40 seconds to build. That's a very long build time. So in other words, by building these Reapers, we get everything that's good from Reapers. The ability to pin, the ability to scout, the ability to kill shit and freak our opponents out. I didn't mean for that to rhyme. But